Every Sunday morning, before the church bells rang, an elderly man in worn-out clothes quietly slipped through the front doors. He never asked for money. He never interrupted the service. He simply walked to the last pew, bowed his head, and listened. For 7 years, that seat became his place. Most people never learned his name. Some smiled politely. Others looked away. A few whispered that he didn't belong. No one imagined that one day, the truth about this quiet stranger would leave the entire congregation speechless. The man was called Walter. His coat was faded. His boots were cracked. His hands trembled with age. Yet every Sunday, without fail, he arrived before almost everyone else. As seasons changed and years passed, Walter remained the same silent figure in the back row. The church grew. Families came and went. Children became teenagers. But Walter kept showing up, always alone, always unnoticed. Many members assumed they knew his story. He must have made bad choices. Why doesn't he find help? He probably just wants attention. The whispers spread from pew to pew. Walter never argued. He never defended himself. He simply lowered his head and listened to the sermon. Only one person chose to sit beside him, a young widow named Sarah. After every service, she greeted him with kindness. Sometimes she brought him a warm cup of coffee. Sometimes she handed him a sandwich wrapped in paper. Walter always thanked her with the same gentle smile. When Sarah once asked about his past, he quietly replied, "God knows my story. That's enough for me." Months later, the church announced a fundraising campaign to expand its community outreach. Excitement filled the sanctuary. Families pledged generous donations. Business owners promised large gifts. When the offering baskets came around, Walter slowly reached into his worn coat pocket and placed a plain white envelope inside. Several nearby members exchanged amused looks. One quietly chuckled. "I wonder if there's anything in it at all." Walter heard them, but he walked away without saying a word. Then, one cold winter week, Walter stopped coming. The empty seat in the last pew felt strangely different. A few days later, news reached the church. Walter had passed away peacefully. The congregation gathered for a memorial, expecting little more than a quiet farewell. Instead, a sharply dressed attorney arrived carrying a leather briefcase. He requested everyone's attention. Then he unfolded a document that changed everything. "Ladies and gentlemen," he began, "Walter Brooks has named this church in his final will." The room fell silent. Confused faces turned toward one another. The attorney continued, "Walter Brooks was once the founder of a highly successful engineering company." Gasps echoed across the sanctuary. People who had ignored him every week stared in disbelief. The homeless man they barely noticed had once built a fortune. But that wasn't the greatest surprise. Years earlier, Walter had lost his wife and young daughter in a devastating accident. Unable to bear the grief, he sold nearly everything he owned and quietly disappeared from public life. Much of his wealth had been given away anonymously. No interviews, no recognition, no applause, only silent acts of generosity. The attorney opened another folder. Inside were records of payments made over many years. Medical bills for struggling families, scholarships for children, rent assistance for widows, emergency funds for members facing hardship. Even part of the church mortgage had been paid by an anonymous donor. The donor's name appeared on every page. Walter Brooks. The congregation sat frozen. Many of those who had judged him had unknowingly benefited from his kindness. Then came Walter's final request. A video message appeared on the screen. Walter smiled softly into the camera. "If you're watching this, I've gone home." The sanctuary was completely still. "I spent these years sitting in the back because I wanted to learn something." He paused. "I wanted to see how people treated someone who seemed to have nothing." His eyes filled with quiet emotion. Many looked past me. Some judged me, but a few reflected the love of Christ. The camera lingered as he spoke one final name. "Sarah, thank you for seeing a person instead of a problem." Tears streamed down Sarah's face. Walter's will left one final gift, a substantial fund dedicated to feeding the hungry, helping widows, supporting families in crisis, and welcoming those society often overlooks. Its name was already chosen, the Good Samaritan Project. Months later, the once empty lot beside the church was filled with volunteers, children, and grateful families receiving meals and support. Lives were changing every single day. And near the entrance stood a simple plaque with words Walter had spoken so often. "God knows my story." The people who once overlooked the quiet man in the last pew never forgot him again, because they finally learned a truth that reached far beyond wealth. You never truly know the value of a person by the clothes they wear, the seat they choose, or the opinions others have about them. Sometimes, the greatest acts of grace are performed by those the world never notices.